this video we are going to create a class called a vehicle, and we'll try to implement a bike out of that vehicle, and we'll call its properties and functions. Okay, so let's get started. So we have a main class and a main function from where our control will be entered. So keeping this on hold for a minute, we'll create a new vehicle class .java, and for creating class of course public. This is our structure. We have only public and class keyword followed by class name vec vehicle class, open class and close the class. Okay, here close class. Now in this we'll have some string model name, string wheels, string color, and we can have a number of other properties of it. Okay, let's not get into so maybe, but yes, this is what basically we are trying to see. Whatever model name, wheels and color are there, it will be called as class variable because we define those variables inside the class. Okay, now let's try to create function drive, function start driving. We'll open this function and we'll close the function. Similarly, one more function, stop driving. Okay, like this we can have n number of other functionalities like function clean vehicle. Okay, or else we can write clean, that is enough. So these are different functionalities. Let's suppose this we are writing system.out.println. so when we want a vehicle to drive, we should have some functionalities inside it. For now, just for the avoiding any kind of complexity, we are assuming the start driving will simply print a statement called vehicle started. Okay, similarly we'll have one more print statement for stop driving, vehicle stopped, and for clean we'll have one more thing called vehicle cleaning is done, right? And we'll have some more functionalities as well, like function to set model name. So if you see, this is a model name and we didn't assign anything to it. It means by default whatever the default value of string is there, that will given to this. So let's write a function to assign a value to that variable. Let's call that function as set model name. Okay, so what we will do here, since we are asking to set model name, we need to send that model name. Okay, so this is how we'll pass something to a function set model name, and this name is to be assigned to model name is equal to name. Right, similarly now this function is doing what, setting a value of one of the class variables, so we call this as a setter function. Similarly we can write for wheels as well, like function set wheels. Okay, let's consider this as int or integer, anything is fine. Okay, int wheels or x, this is like anything we can give it here, but finally we need to assign that value of x to wheels. Similarly we can have for color as well, so for simplicity we can remove this, but anything is fine. Now these functions are setting a value of class variables, which is nothing but instance variables when we create an object of vehicle class. Okay, so we'll create an object, then I'll let you know what is class level variables, what is function level variables. As we defined setter functions, we'll define getter functions as well. So it is kind of self-explanatory that setter function will set a value of any property, getter function will get the property, right? So we can write get, what is our property? Model name. This is how we write a function, open close. Now this, we are expecting it to return a model name. So that, what is that property name? Model name. Now this model name is nothing but a string, so it should return string. Now this is just to inform you, but again, since these functions are not returning anything, we'll simply have void written for this. Void, and this is returning string, so we have already written the return type, that is fine. This is returning what? This is returning nothing. We just want it to assign a given value to a property called wheels, so we are expecting nothing out of that. And also again the same with this also. I will write one last function to get value of wheels, that is get wheels, open and close, return. So if whatever you want to return, that will be given with the keyword return. Return wheels. Now this wheels is of type integer, so this function is returning what? Integer. So we'll write return, okay, my bad, we will write in the beginning integer and then function. So here we have defined two properties of class, so it is called as class variable. Then we have defined setters and getters, which sets and gets the value of a property, then some other functionalities of this class. Okay, now this class is somewhere, I don't care, but wherever I want to use it, I need to create an object of that. Or suppose this, like on top of this I need to write okay, so I need to create an object of vehicle class, vehicle class. Let's give that object. Okay, so here I am declaring something. So for suppose, what is declaration is, suppose I defined a string x. So in the line 6 I simply declared a variable x of type string, but if I'm writing x is equal to your name, so here I'm assigning something to x variable. So this is a definition or assignment, I can say. Okay, so that was an example, and here if you can see, this is a declaration. So now when I wrote string x, so here string is a data type, but basically it is a class. Okay, similarly I need to write the data type or class and its variable. So here this is a data type, I can say, or class, and this is its corresponding variable. I can give anything, but as of now bike is assigned nothing, so it is null. So I'll assign something called bike is equal to new vehicle class. Okay, now here if we see on line 5, when line 5 is executed, value of bike was null. Now bike is pointing to a object of vehicle class, and so it's basically when you are writing new vehicle class, an object is created and bike is assigned that object. This is an assignment operator. This object is assigned to bike. Now bike is an object which has all these properties: bike dot model name, bike dot wheels, bike dot set model name, bike dot set wheels, all this, right? So if you simply call vehicle class dot vehicle class is, this is simply instruction, so this doesn't have any meaning until and unless you implement this class. So implementation of this class means creation of an object for this class. So here you did that. Now let's suppose by default we are giving it vehicle, okay, and for this 0, and let's set bike dot. We have now with, if you can see, this is a method present in vehicle class, and for this vehicle class we have created an reference variable. That reference variable is now holding an object of vehicle class. That object we are not simply calling it as bike. So all the properties now accessible, all the properties and function of vehicle class is now can be accessed through this object. So bike dot, we are trying to access this set model name. So bike dot set model name, we can set anything. So this set model name function is expecting what? I'll split right, so now you can see both of it. Okay, so this vehicle class set model name is expecting a name, so I'll write bullet. Okay, now if I try to get this bike dot get model name, so this bike dot get model name is going to return me a model name. So I will store here string x is equal to this, and I'll try to print this system dot out dot println of x. So here I should get bullet. We are trying to understand, right? So bikes functionality, which is set model name, this we gave bullet. Now bullet is a value which is passed to name. Now this name value is assigned to model name, so this model name is now bullet. So if we are trying to call this before, okay, since we have declared a string x already, I'll not declare it again, but I am simply assigning something to it. So when bike was created, if I print this, I should get vehicle. But when I'm again assigning something, because if you see get model name will return me model name whose value was vehicle. Now when something is set model name is given a value called bullet. Now this is again assigned to model name, so if I try to print it again, I should get bullet. Okay, now after we set this, we should store its value as well. Okay, we should try to get that again. So again we'll do x is equal to bike dot get model name. So if you see, when we created an object bike, its model name was vehicle, but after that we called a function called set model name, and we modified the property model name, it got modified, and then if we are trying to get model name again, we are getting bullet. Similarly, if we try to get wheels, string wheels, we need to use object name dot get model name, right? Now if we try to print here what is wheels value, we should get 0 because we never modified anything using a set wheels function. So let's open command prompt, and since we have, if you see here, we have multiple Java classes and we did modify it in multiple Java classes, so we need to compile all that again. So to compile one file, we know we need to do a class name then .java, but if we have multiple, we can, like, we want, our intention is to compile all the Java files, so we can use star.java being in the same class object. Okay, now if I try to compile, all of them are compiled, and we'll try to run only the class in which main function is there. Now if we try to I'll try to run this main class without any extension. If you see, initially we had vehicle, then bullet. Why bullet? Okay, here we should write get wheels. Okay, let's compile all of them again. Bike dot get wheels. Integer cannot be converted to string, right? If you see get wheels, what get wheels is written in integer, and what we are storing it in string. So we need to have an integer variable, right? Now again we'll compile this and we'll run this. Now it's fine, right? So initially model name was vehicle, then we modified it, and then we got the model name, and also we got the wheels name. Similarly, we can call all the other functionalities as well, right? Like bike dot start driving, and when you're calling functions, you should close this with brackets. Bike dot stop driving. You can call all those multiple times. Like I can call the stop driving again and again. Stop driving. I can call bike dot clean. Okay, and there is no order. Like I can call clean first. It's like you define it one place and you can use it n number of times and number of places. You need to compile that again, and we'll run the class in which main function is defined. So if you see, vehicle cleaning is done, then we call the start function, then we call the stop function 2 times, then we call the vehicle cleaning function. Now similarly, if you want to have one more object, vehicle class car, okay, then here also we can use car is equal to new of vehicle class. So if we can again car will have its own properties, right? It is irrespective of what bike is doing, car has its own properties. Now if you call here car dot get wheels, car dot get model name, you will get vehicle and 0 since you didn't modify anything for this. So for suppose we'll modify this, car dot set model name is car model 1. Okay, and we'll try to fetch that string model car model. We are storing that model and we'll try to print that system dot out dot println car model. Okay, so why I'm calling this function, like we can have n number of other objects and we can call that again and again because it is completely a different function, but to show that bike dot get model or bike dot set model, like bike also have all these properties, car also have all these properties, but bike dot start driving is different, car dot start driving will be different, bike dot clean will be different. Okay, similarly bike will have all these properties and variables, and car will also have all these properties and variables, but bike's properties and functionalities will not conflict with the cars functionalities and variables. So here if I say we'll try to run clear screen start.java main class. So you see car model 1. Here if I try to print again bike dot get model name. So what I did here is I'm calling this and I'm storing the return whatever it is returning in a variable, and then I'm writing it in a different. Instead of that, I can have this complete thing written under same thing because I'm not using it again and again, so it's fine. I can do like this also. So car.get model is different, bike.get model will be different. And this will return the model of bike, this will return the model of car. We will try to compile and okay. Standard Java main class. So this was the model of the car, this was the model of bullet. So here basically we created a class, and then we created a bike object of that class, a car object of that class. Like this we can have n number of objects created for any class. So this class has no meaning and no existence until and unless we create an object for that, and we try to use all the functionalities and variables or properties of that class. So if you have any queries regarding class and objects, yeah, that we can you can write in the comment section. I will definitely respond to that. And we have many more things to learn with respect to class and objects, like static, okay, singleton, and a number of other things, but this was a basic introduction of classes and objects. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.